Riding across Arran isn't just about getting from one place to another, it's about what's waiting at the end of the road. Arran is full of hidden secrets, forgotten stories, and moments of quiet reflection. It's the kind of place where you don't just ride, you feel every mile. Every change in the wind, every scent carried from the shore. The island may be small, but its roads are some of the most breathtaking in Scotland. Narrow lanes snake through the ancient woodland, open straits run parallel to the crashing waves, and high passes climb in the mist, offering views that make you want to stop and take it all in. And so, the adventure continues.
Good morning, Sprocketeers, welcome back to the channel, and we are on day 2 of my Isle of Arran adventure, and I couldn't ask for a better way to start the morning. Listen to that incredible ocean just drifting in and out, the smell, fresh sea air, and behind me an absolutely tremendous view. Now behind me is the Holy Isle, and it isn't just a beautiful backdrop. Actually, this island has been home to Celtic monks for centuries, and it also offered a variety of different retreat zones for lots of different religious groups. However, today it is home to just the ecological wonders that is the Scottish wildlife.
The Holy Isle has long been a place of spiritual significance. Its history dates back to early Christian times, when it was said to have been a retreat of St. Maulus, a 6th century monk. According to legend, he sought solitude here, finding peace in its remote surroundings, far from the bustling world. But the Holy Isle's past is not just a religious one. The island was likely inhabited by the Picts, the enigmatic people who once thrived in Scotland. In fact, archaeological evidence points to ancient settlements, burial sites and carvings that reveal their presence. In more recent centuries, the Holy Isle became a place of great importance to the local community. During the 18th and 19th centuries, it was used as a sanctuary for the sick, where it was believed that the island's peace and isolation could bring about healing. Some even claim that the island's unique atmosphere has a mystical quality, capable of calming troubled souls.
Now, when it comes to Glenashdale Bay, what's really interesting about this area is that it's actually one of the very first no-take zones in Scotland. Now, what exactly is a no-take zone? It's exactly what it sounds like. You can go in the water, you can enjoy the water, you can snorkel, you can kayak, but ultimately you have to leave everything where it is. You can't take any of the marine life, you can't take any of the animals, and you certainly can't take any of the natural objects that form here. And the difference that it has made to Scottish wildlife has been astronomical. And although I'm not going to get to see it for myself because we have plans to go and look at things a little bit more Viking on today's schedule, I have heard it's made a world of difference for all of the life under the sea. So here is a map of the no-take zone, of the area that they're trying to preserve, and basically it just follows Glenashdale Bay just here, and it goes straight across the ocean to Holy Isle. And basically everything in this particular area has to be left exactly as it is. But that's enough talking about the fish. We've got stuff to do, and our first port of call is going to find something a little bit more Viking. So let's pack up, get dressed, and hit the open road. Let's go!
It says no cars beyond this point. Where are we? Are we even in the right place? I don't really know what an old Viking fort looks like. I'm gonna have to invest in a better GPS. The trail on this is awful. Signs. Let's go this way. Unless that was it. That stone. I wonder if we can walk around. I have a feeling that might be it. Whoop! Grass is slippery. Oh goodness, guys. After a long trek, we finally found it. I have been walking around this area for quite some time, but we are finally here, home to what was a real live Viking fort. Now the views behind me are absolutely incredible. It's just this huge panoramic view of the vast blue ocean, and it is incredible, genuinely incredible. It's so spectacular, so much so that you can almost vision a Viking longboat pulling up from here. What an incredible sight that would have been. Now, what we are looking at here isn't just a rubble of rocks. It is the remains of an old hill fort. Now, this would have been built originally by early Scots, and around 1,000 years ago, it was then invaded by the Vikings. Now, when it came to the Vikings, they didn't just pillage areas. They were keen tradesmen, they were great sailors, and they were very good businessmen. Despite all this, they did pillage a village or two, and so they knew about picking a defensive location to prevent invasions of their own, which is what we have the remains of today. Now, as we make our way up what would have been a set of stairs back in the day, we are greeted by a much larger section of the fortress. Now, presumably due to its location and its circular stance, I predict that perhaps it would have been a watchtower. In fact, looking out towards the bay, we have almost a 290-degree panoramic view of the ocean, making it perfect to see who is coming in and out of your town. It's amazing that it has stood this long. It might not look like much now, but back in the day, this would have been an entire fort with stone walls and defensive wooden towers and even a watchtower, making sure the ships that come in and out were on the watch list. The Vikings were all over the west side of Scotland, leaving behind names, traditions, and even DNA. 1,000 years ago, this would have been in use. It seems like a long time, but truthfully, it really isn't. It really isn't. It's just a very small amount of time in the grand scheme of human history. To envision that we went from this, living in stone houses, to suddenly being in a world where we have a device in our pocket that can allow us to access information from any country in any language, you have to marvel at just how far people have come. You really do. And as we continue to motorcycle around the Isle of Arran, you guys have to remember, we're not just riding along a road, we're following in the footsteps of real live Vikings. And with that, we got to get moving. You're on our way to find a Viking burial ground now. How exciting is that? Can you tell I've had a coffee because I'm feeling pretty chipper? So, my sat-nav is currently charging in my rucksack. So we're looking for an art gallery. Oh, we're going to be taking a right at an art gallery.
The road to Glenashdale feels like a journey through time itself. As I ride deeper into Arran's southern forests, the modern world starts to fade. The trees close in, the air grows thick with the scent of damp earth and pine, and the hum of the engine is the only sound breaking the stillness. Somewhere between these winding roads and towering trees lies something ancient, an Iron Age fort, perched high above the glen, a place not built for beauty but for survival. Centuries ago, people stood there, watching over this land, protecting their way of life, and today I'm following in their path. But not all roads lead where you expect them to.
That's not an art gallery. The shore, I think it's a wee bit further down the road. What's that building over there? Should be on the right-hand side. What's this? Here we go. Okay, so it should just be here somewhere. The next right. But none of these look like right-hand turns. Huh. We're going to go back down the way just because there is another route, which seems to be a vehicular access route. So people obviously don't want people driving this way, even though we could. I want to be a little bit nice. Okay, this definitely looks a lot better.
My bike can only take me so far. At the edge of the forest, the road ends, and the rest of the journey must be made on foot. The last stretch is hidden beneath the canopy, a narrow trail winding through the thick woodland, leading the remains of something built long ago, long before tarmac and engines ever existed. But that part of the journey, that's for next time. For now, I'll take in the stillness, the weight of history in the air, and prepare to step off the road and into the past.